Loose White dive on it.
This is twice now the Celtics have been first to the floor.
They try to save with Horford. Unbelievable.
Boston first to the floor. So good.
Brown fakes, fires up the three. Bang! Tatum dives on the floor. Everybody dives. Jaylen Brown with the flush. Blocked by Porzingis. He's doing it all. Tatum spinning, driving, laying. Got it. Washington drives. Blocked by White. Oh, what a block from Derek White.
All right, welcome in First to the Floor podcast. Ben Vallis here, along with Wayne Spooney and Jake Eisenberg. Thank you for joining us. Hope you're doing well. Lots to get to tonight, including Jayson Tatum seemingly closer to returning, some early returns on Nikola Vucevic, and NBA expansion draft. Which Celtics are you protecting? Lots to get to. Spooney, Jake, welcome, guys. How's it going?
Pretty good.
Doing good. Told you guys beforehand, first rec league game back this season. Defend against the team we beat in the championship. Wire W, but I also dislocated my pinky. It's feeling better now because it popped right back in. You can tell like how much bigger that one is than that one.
Oh yeah, it's quite a knuckle you got going there.
Yeah. But I kept playing. Didn't fix any of my jump shot, but here we are.
Grit, determination. Ugo
That's right.
Gonzalez, Jake Eisenberg, one and the same, basically.
Bring me in, Missoula.
Yeah, damn right. Missoula's like, my leg got chopped off, but I finished my 2-minute shift out there. I'm just pumped to talk a little Ron Harper. I know that's really the only reason I'm here, fellas, but otherwise I'm doing good. Yeah, licking the wounds from the Super Bowl is a tough loss, but Seattle just really good. It is what it is, man. You know, at least the Pats are good now again. It was a long 8 years, man. Don't know how we did it.
Yeah, man. Knicks game, Pats game, notably off the agenda for tonight. Just the wounds are too sore and fresh still. Personally, for me, the Knicks game in particular, but understand there's a lot of sore NBA, Pats fans, NFL fans out there. So we'll pour one out for those guys a little bit later. But the Jayson Tatum news is interesting. It had kind of been quiet on all fronts for a little while after the little Chris Haynes tidbits, which we, of course, overreacted to, and the little podcast murmurings about him maybe just a differing mental approach to maybe or maybe not coming back. Now we've got a little bit more of concrete steps in the right direction. We got the report yesterday, Jayson Tatum assigned to the Maine Celtics, I should say, to be part of their practice squad to practice against or participate in 5-on-5 practices with Celtics rostered teammates, two-way players, and G Leaguers. And then today, back in Boston at the Auerbach Center, addressing the media at Celtics practice. On this podcast, you will find the most distilled, condensed version of the Tatum presser available on the internet. We've managed to get it down to 2 minutes and 30 seconds, all the ums, all the ahs removed, some redundant questioning removed. There was a Gary Washburn question along the lines of how did it feel to sit on the bench all season? And like, no shit, Gary, didn't feel pretty fucking good, I would imagine. So we've removed that one from the presser. Good work, Gary. Try again next time, buddy. But unless you guys have any other words you want to use to preface this presser, then we can just get straight to it.
I did think that it really was well timed from Tatum to have this news come out. Like next morning, I'm like hungover. Me and my dad are like talking about the Super Bowl, and I'm like, oh shit, Tatum's been assigned to the G League, and Dad's like, that just turned my whole day around. So we're back.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, let's get to it, and then we'll hit you with some reactions.
I'm feeling good. It was good to be a part of practice yesterday with the Maine G League guys. Today is 39 weeks, so it's been a long journey, and it's just like the progression of rehab. It was the next step. Doesn't mean that I'm coming back or I'm not. It's just we're just following the plan. So it's just another step.
How close do you feel to returning at this point? If you were going to put a percentage on it,
I'm not going. I don't know percentage. I just know I feel a little bit better every day. I think just over 39 weeks, you have a lot of time on your hand. You think about a lot of things and you're just hyper aware of what's going on. And I think it would just stem from that. Obviously, I know what I bring to the table, and bring to the team. But I'm also aware that these guys have been playing extremely well. And, not to say that I would come and mess it up or anything like that. It was just kind of being vulnerable, I guess, for a moment and talking from that perspective.
How do you picture fitting into this team mid-season if that does happen? Like, is it going to have to be a bit of sacrifice for you? Like, how do you imagine it happening?
It might look different. I haven't played with these guys or with this group. A lot of high IQ guys out there, and I like to consider myself one of those type of players. If that did present itself and if I did come back, we professionals would figure it out. It was good. It was just kind of good to be out there. Had a jersey on, kind of felt good to be a part of a team and practice and go through reps and stuff like that.
What are the next steps that you have to take?
Just, more conditioning, more live things, getting acclimated to, playing 5-on-5 and contact and stuff like that.
What do you think of
Being
that?
away from the game for so long, like watching from the sidelines, has that changed your view of basketball? Like, have you seen different things that maybe you didn't notice when you were playing?
Yeah.
Where are you at in terms of just trusting your Achilles and the confidence in your body to respond well to what you're doing right now?
I always say I feel a little bit better today than I did yesterday. So whether it's physical, conditioning, trusting it, every day I just feel a little bit better.
There was a report that you were reevaluating whether you would come back this year or not. Is that true? And where is your mindset on this year at the moment?
Yeah, still trying to figure it out. Still just going through the progressions of rehab. I'm not saying that I'm coming back or I'm not. It's all about being 100% healthy and, going through the plan of this protocol.
So in the time it took me to edit that video and edit out the my child actually grew up and moved out of home and got a job and started a family. It took a long time. Jayson Tatum, the master of saying many words while saying very little, I think graduated from media training school with honors. If you had to glean some form of takeaway from those statements, Spoonie and Jake, what are your takeaways?
Okay, so Sam LaFrance, I saw he tweeted out an article he wrote based on that, and one of the quotes he included an exclamation point at the end of Tatum's sentence. He did not exclaim a single fucking time in that interview. That was the most, Sam's awesome. Read everything he writes. He's great.
Not that article.
But that dude has never exclaimed before. I texted you guys, but it's man, I kind of forgot how boring Jayson Tatum is with him. It's he's obviously an incredible player, but there was a lot. I think the thing I found most interesting was him talking about the shitstorm that happened with the Chris Haynes stuff. And he's basically you're vulnerable for 10 seconds, right?
Yeah.
He makes one comment basically, and it turns into this huge blow up with Chris Haynes, on a podcast that I'm sure was an hour-long interview. And he almost seemed like he, in the back of his mind, you almost see him think I'll never do that again. Right. So I thought that was really interesting where it's dude, I was just talking. These are the things I've been thinking about. I've been not playing basketball, which is the only thing I live to do basically. So yeah, I had some of those thoughts sometimes. So I thought that was really interesting.
I had the exact same thought that you did, Spoonie, when he said, I was just being vulnerable. And I was like, well, big mistake, Jayson.
Mm-hmm.
Never do that ever again because it'll ruin everyone's life for 3 weeks. Never admit your thoughts, even though your thoughts are just thoughts and they don't mean anything. Just keep that to your therapist, apparently, because the internet is not capable of handling them. I thought Bobby did a good job. If we're going to call out Chris Haynes, gotta call out Bobby for being so what percentage chance would you give it then if you're coming back? And Tatum,
Son of a bitch.
You didn't almost get him, but Tatum liked that, I thought. And I think that if we're gonna dive into the comments, which we're doing, the way that he smiled and was happy about that, I'm guessing that the number began with a 9 that he thought of in his head.
Yeah.
Is how I took that response. And it's annoying, but I understand why he's doing it. It doesn't mean I'm coming back or not. It's just the next step of the progression. So you can take that one of two ways. One, he's protecting himself and giving himself an out to not come back if he doesn't want to. Or he's just his company line is now following the progression. Well, the progression is going to include coming back and playing NBA basketball. That's going to be the last bit. So if you keep following the progression, I'm guessing that's coming pretty soon because playing 5-on-5 against Hugo Gonzalez and Amari Williams and Ron Harper Jr. is basically like the 95 Bulls. So by the time you do that, you may as well be ready for the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a tough squad to go up against when you're sort of in the final stages of your Achilles rupture recovery. So, yeah, I mean, even just taking away from the comments, like you say, Jake, just the things that are happening, which is he's playing basketball 5-on-5 against NBA quality players. Now we've got the All-Star break coming up, so a nice little sort of week and a half buffer. And then he has indicated before that he wants to return. Shout out to Sam LaFrance in the comments that he wants to return during a home game. And when the Celtics come back from All-Star, there's a mini West Coast trip. The first home game, I believe, is the 27th of Feb against the Nets. So there's really still quite a lot of time between now and when he might potentially return still. And so if you start to think about the trajectory from this moment to that moment in your mind, you can start to pinpoint. And this is coming from someone who said he's coming back in December. Coming back in January. Like, I've been wrong.
Coming back in February.
Yeah. But as we continue to get stronger signs and evidence of a potential eventual return, I feel right about it this time, guys. That's all I can say.
Dude,
actually, you'll be right.
Yeah, Jake, you're so right with the media training coming through, like the party line of like going through the process. Like he said that 30 times that interview, but I think 5-on-5 is a huge step. Right. I mean, that is got to be the final step. I mean, that is regular basketball. So
6-on-6, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. Fucking Uber basketball, Joe Mazzulla style. So I was pretty skeptical at the beginning of the year we would see him, but part of that was because I didn't think the team would be this good. Now that we're here, now that the team's good, now that they clearly need him. Like, I feel like the Knicks game, look, a lot of it was shooting luck, but also a lot of it was just like we kind of lacked somebody to really attack Mitchell Robinson over and over again and move the ball when they get trapped or hedged quickly. And Tatum destroys Mitchell Robinson. He loves playing against Mitchell Robinson, except for the playoff series last year. But
not game 4.
Well, yeah, he was crushing until, we got put in this position. So I him now, after hearing him speak, look, he basically said nothing, but I think just the fact that he's at 5-on-5, willing to do like this long 10-minute press scrum. I almost like, maybe this is hopium, as the kids say. Part of me feels like he just wants to be like, I'm coming back. Like I think we're that close where he just really wants to burst, but he knows he can't yet.
I too would
and
love
then
to
we'll
burst.
all burst. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead.
Look, I mean, so actions speak louder than words. One of my year 4 debating topics that I'll never forget. I don't really care what he says. I know that he did the shoot around, the workout in front of the media for 45 minutes. I know that he's now scrimmaging 5-on-5. All the words, all the nonsense. I feel very proud of myself for when we talked about the Chris Haynes stuff. I was like, I bet you in like 3 weeks we are like, that was dumb. And he's playing. And it feels like that's the most likely outcome by far right now. Because we got a lot of game. We got a lot of season left. Like we got 30 plus games or so, or 30-ish games. Like it's plenty of season left. Like if you told us coming to the season, how many games do you want him to get under his belt, but kind of before the playoffs start? And like, obviously the more the better, but having any like 10 being kind of what feels like the Occam's rosier or the line where you start to get a little bit kind of jumpy at that point, but anything with 15 or more in it feels great to me. Yeah. And that feels like you've got with the All-Star break in the middle there, like you got a lot of runway here. And that's, I think I probably can pull up a tweet or a conversation of us being like, the Nets game after the All-Star break, after that West Coast trip makes so much sense. You kind of have a ton of rehab. You have the All-Star break to keep kind of working out behind closed doors as well as if you want. You have that West Coast trip and you get to fucking come back against the Nets at home. Like that makes sense. And that gives you plenty of runway.
there's also a 4-day gap between that game and the next game as well. So plenty of time to sort of assess and evaluate the body's response to that comeback as well. So it's almost seems too good to be true. But I can't wait, Spoonie, to see Jayson Tatum reintegrate with this super team, evidently, of amazing young potential all-stars in Ugo and Walshy and even Baylor Shireman now. Like, it's incredible the benefit I guess they've seen with Tatum being away. I don't know if I realize I'm putting you on the spot here, Spoonie, by mentioning you at the start of this. I don't know what I'm throwing to you essentially.
I can't wait.
Pass me the rock, but like we've already done all the like, can Tatum reintegrate, all that bullshit, and I think we've kind of like thrown that out. But is there anything, as you've had more time to think about his return, that sort of come to mind?
Okay, here we go. Jayson Tatum, Nimi Keita, Ugo Gonzalez, Jordan Walsh, Derek White. Imagine the defense with that lineup, dude. Like, I think that's one of the best things about Tatum that I'm really looking forward to is like when you think of fit and like, oh, is he going to fit in right? But everybody's thinking about offense. He is going to like electrify the defense. He's a force multiplier on the defensive end with his ability to guard centers, switch, and basically play free safety. So like the fit stuff was always bogus, but like I think people are underrating how fucking good this guy is at basketball and how much he drives winning. And you've already got a team that's 34-19. And even if he's 80%, you're going to drop him there. And like all you need is 15 games, I feel like. I know he hasn't played with some of these guys, but he's also played with a lot of them, especially the key components of this team, including Keita, who he had a little bit of chemistry with last year. The fit stuff, we're over it. We're beyond it. Now we're in hype season. Now we're in, I can't wait to see this season.
Yeah. I wonder what you guys think of the minutes restriction when he comes back. I'm guessing like 20 to 24 minutes will be the first game. And it's like, one, he could do everything on the court. So it doesn't matter what role he's asked for. It's like on the ball, off the ball, catch and shoot, setting screens, running pick and roll, you name it, he can do it. But that's all. 24 minutes of playing defense, rebounding, and making the right play on offense, and just shooting threes and driving closeouts from that guy. It's like, I know he probably wants to come back as Jayson Tatum, but like when he first comes back, it's almost like I want him to give him like the rookie Tatum role with more, like a few more on-ball reps. But it's just like defend, rebound, make the right play. And then all of a sudden you build up all like your 2K points. Every time like you make a good play, it's going to like infuse him and embolden him with more and more confidence and be like, yeah, I've been really, really fucking good at basketball basically since I was dropped onto this earth. So that's kind of would be how I kind of envision it and how I get excited by it. It's just like, just make him a role player on that 24-minute restriction, which he'll hate, but he'll be really good at.
Yeah, it's just another phase in the recovery like that he's been talking about. It's like the 4th trimester. The baby keeps growing after it's been born. You know, that shit keeps evolving.
I hope so.
That's the idea.
We're all in our 4th trimester if you think about it.
It's going very badly.
All right, cool. I think we can leave it there, but obviously we'll be staying close to the Jayson Tatum situation as it evolves, and hopefully some accurate news trickles out during the All-Star break from people other than Chris Haynes. I think.
Do you think he would
do you
start?
think he'll be starting when he gets back? I think so. I think while he'll be on the minutes restriction and while he'll likely miss back-to-backs initially, I suspect or hope, you've got to start Jayson Tatum. He's not coming off the bench.
You need to start him just for the. And from Duke,
yes,
number 0. What's the point of coming back if you can't do that?
For sure.
Like that, he's starting. It's Jayson fucking Tatum.
All right. Well, look, we've got plenty more to get to when we come back. We're going to touch on early returns from Nikola Vucevic. Tatum had some words on the presser about Vuc's early or short tenure in Boston thus far, and we'll talk about the NBA expansion draft. But first, a quick word from our friends over at Prize Picks.
Prize Picks time. NFL season is over. It's a tough game from the fellas in the Super Bowl, but I'm still feel good. Drake May, get him an offensive line, get him someone that can get open, and we move. A lot of rookies. They're going to get He's basically getting the Jayson Tatum treatment right now from the 22 finals. If he had never made the Super Bowl, no one would even be talking about him. But Jayson Tatum, the return is imminent. It's time to start focusing on the Boston Celtics. We've got the Bulls coming up. I think Jaylen Brown's kind of been. It's time for him to soak up the last of these field goal attempts. He knows Tatum's coming back. This is my last chance to have 30 field goal attempts over these next couple of weeks. So we're going more on Jaylen points, assists. Pritchard's cooking. Give me more on points and assists for Pritchard as well. And download the app today. Use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Download the app today. Use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. It's good to be right.
Shout out Prize Picks. It's a lot of fun. Use that code CLNS, get yourself that deal. And shout out to the good people of CLNS as well for presenting this show, both the YouTube and Spotify versions. Great folks over at CLNS, very supportive of this show. We saw CLNS's own Bobby Manning peppering Jayson Tatum with challenging questions regarding his return just earlier in the show. So to shout out to those guys, let's pivot now to Nikola Vucevic. Maybe we can bust this one open with another Tatum comment, this time on Vucevic's early showings.
No, Vuce is a hell of a player. Obviously, I've competed against him for the last 8 years. Excited about the things that he brings to this team and different dynamic. We're all excited to have him.
So where do you think how you guys stack up in the East with him in the fold, and what these guys have done so far in 60 games to put themselves where they are, with you potentially being able to come back?
We've been one of the best teams all season, and I feel like we'll continue being one of the best teams, for the rest of the regular season and hopefully in the playoffs.
Just rich, substance-filled remarks
just
from Jayson
loves
Tatum
it.
yet again.
Missed him.
Yeah, I mean, unless you've got anything specific to take away from that non-answer, I thought it was interesting that he was asked and then he spoke on Vucevic, and but typical generic response from Jayson Tatum. But more importantly, Spoonie and Jake, what do you guys think about Vucevic's 2 games in Boston thus far, and how he's looked in relation to the team?
I think that's popped for me the most so far has been the passing. He makes really good, quick decisions, and the passes are like laser beams on target. So, we've talked about Gaza being kind of Luke Cornett light offensively. I think Vooch is really going to be an offensive multiplier. I'm not to steal a phrase from Spoonie earlier in the show. Once he gets comfortable, once he gets Tatum integrated as well, I think that having him able to shoot threes on the roll, he's very comfortable kind of getting down the lane and making decisions. I like the offense. Screening's not awesome, I would say so far. And the defense is as advertised in my experience watching
Dog shit.
2 games.
Yeah, it's bad.
Dog shit?
Look. Yeah, he moves better than Garza. He's a more fluid athlete than Garza, right? Who's not. But I kind of think he's worse defensively because Garza's just really, really strong and he plays really, really hard. And I don't think Vooch isn't playing hard, but he definitely doesn't have the tenacity that Garza does, who is trying to stay in the NBA, and Vooch has made $1 bajillion. So offensively, yeah, the passing is definitely, I think, the highlight. He's 88th percentile in potential assists per 100. He's 91st percentile in rim assists per 100 among centers. He is a borderline elite passing center. And I think importantly, he's comfortable putting the ball on the floor and taking more than 1 or 2 dribbles, which is just something Garza and Keita do not do. I think that my concern is though, he's not really been doing a whole lot of positive stuff when he puts it on the floor, but I think part of that is just he's got to get used to the team. But there was one play against the Knicks, Jaylen got trapped, he moved it to Vooch, who was at the top of the key with no one around him, and it's it took him forever to go, and then all of a sudden Mitchell Robinson was back there again and he missed the shot. And again, that's probably partially just getting used to the team. So I think offensively, super high volume 3-point shooter. The jumper looks really good. It's a pretty quick trigger for a big man too. 37% from 3. Like the volume's going to get up there. So I think he's going to make the offense awesome. I'm just like really worried the defense is not salvageable. Because teams just go at him nonstop. We're like trapping and hedging with him, and I'm just not sure that's viable against good teams. Like we got obliterated with him on the court against the Knicks. Obliterated. We were like a minus 45 net rating with him in 21 minutes. That's like bad. That's really bad.
That's
to put it mildly.
Great.
Yeah. So I will say like a lot of interesting stuff, but like great point, Jake, on the screening. Like the screening's got to get better. Like honestly, if it doesn't get better, you might as well just play Garza on it. But I think it will.
Yeah, it feels like there's a clumsiness to him out there at the moment. And like some of that is to be expected from any new addition, but then you add sort of the supposed veteran savvy of a guy who's been in the league as long as Nikola Vucevic, and he's made a transition to another team before. You'd kind of hope there's a little bit more immediate signs of chemistry. He did have his first practice with the Celtics earlier today, so hopefully that's been an additional opportunity to find some alignment there as far as the movements are on the court in relation to his own. But just the setting of the screens, the rolling, certainly like you mentioned, Jake, that if he does roll and he does catch, his like kickouts to the corner are really fluid and like really on the money, like middle of the chest delivery on those passes, which is good because that's probably not going anywhere, but certainly some work to do to better integrate himself with the scheme. Negative 12.7 net rating in 2 games, including a blowout against the Knicks. But I thought it was really notable in like the first few possessions against Miami in his first game, where like he was just backpedaling way too much in drop coverage and not like coming up to the ball as the Heat ball handlers like made their drive, and just giving them like wide oceans of space to make like sort of those short mid-range attempts. And if that's a sign of things to come, and certainly the assessment of Nikola Vucevic is that is a sign of things to come, then that's troubling. But we've got the benefit of being fans of this great organization where I think we can realistically at least pause and think, okay, like what can they do with this guy? Like what level can they bring his defense up to? Remains to be seen. But initially signs are not promising, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think you have to assume it gets a little bit better. Like just from purely understanding the scheme and understanding how the team works and everyone's tendencies. And if it gets a little bit better, combined with the defensive rebounding, because I do think that is a big advantage that he has over Gaza. And we saw it in the first Heat game, he had 12 rebounds. I know that he's not going to have 6 offensive rebounds very often, but he's definitely he's a good defensive rebounder. So if you can just like close the horrendous like foot speed, like layup line type of defense a little bit, then hopefully that defensive rebounding can create like at least an advantage, also like less of a disadvantage. And analytically, what I would say my biggest concern is Brad talked about it in the presser, and we've seen it a lot so far in the first 2 games. And part of that's by necessity with Anthony Simons going out the door before Tatum comes back, is a ton of double bigs. And I get that like if you're going to use it, you got to start working it out. But it's like, you don't have to do this much, this fast. Like, it's like, it's like Joe's a little like addiction. And he hasn't really been able to sample it and relapse this season because he doesn't have the personnel. And he admitted as much after the Heat game. Like, he didn't say directly double bigs because he's not like Ime Udoka and he doesn't throw his players under the bus every single game, but he just put himself on blast and was like, I tried to think about too much of what's coming down the road in the playoffs. I tried to answer too many questions all in the first game when you get someone new. And I was like, that's really great self-reflection. Next game, so much more double bigs again, which made a little bit more sense because of the Knicks, but it was not going well. And it's like, how is it really going to work? Because it's worked with Porzingis and Horford because they're like elite offensive players and obviously better defensively. Like Gaza, you can tell offensively doesn't know what to do on offense when he's out there with Vooch. And it's like they're both playing the same role and they're getting in each other's way. And then the defensive stuff, you don't even have to like talk about because if fucking Vooch or Gaza is your power forward, I guess like the size and the rebounding, and like it kind of worked against the Rockets by having Cater as like your Roma. But I don't love the concept.
That the Rockets are such a specific, unique matchup. That's like why we were glazing Joe for going double bigs, even though he hasn't all year, because it's like that is the perfect matchup to do it. Everybody else is not the perfect match. Maybe Detroit. I don't know. Maybe. But like it was kind of mind blowing to me that he stuck with it so much. On the rebounding, real quick, Garza 11% defensive rebounding percentage, Vooch 21.2. So just like a massive gap on defensive rebounding. I just want to make sure put that out there. So what I find most frustrating about the double bigs is that we kind of did it sometimes because we didn't have a better option. We didn't have enough wing depth. It's like just Hauser off the bench at times. In the past. Now we have all the wings you need. Like we saw Ugo have great possessions on Karl Anthony Towns. Like why are we starting Luka Garza instead of like really using all these varied wings with these varied skill sets and letting them figure it out? Like I struggle to think of a playoff matchup where it's like we got to have Keita and Garza out there together. If that's the case, I think we're in real trouble, especially once Tatum comes back, because like we know he can do some of the center stuff. We know Ugo can. And then like I just don't understand why you feel necessary to even have that. Like the concept doesn't really make sense in a playoff setting at all. Like it just is not going to be functional defensively. So what's the point of seeing it?
Just the time of year to fuck around with like different settings, I guess, is probably like the Occam's Rozier of it. But yeah, it's not fun to watch. It sucks actually. But you touched on it, like the long-term solution and in a playoff setting is like Jayson Tatum is your 4-man and solves a rebounding problem. Obviously solves a massive defensive versatility problem as well, and really puts you in a position where if you even had a thought during a dream of playing Luka Garza at the 4 in a double big situation, like you would be fired. So I don't expect it to be a thing long term, but you know, you introduce a new big into the rotation, and Joe Mazzulla of all people is gonna like fuck around with like different shit, I think. We shouldn't be surprised. We should be surprised if we continue to see it long term. 2 games feels way too long, as you said. So hopefully that's it, and hopefully the All-Star break brings some clarity. Hopefully win against the Bulls, not undergoing that strategy, also brings some clarity. That'll be against Anthony Simons as well, by the way.
Yeah, that's exciting. I think you're absolutely right, Ben. It is the time to do this. January, like you got a pretty good buffer between like the 7 seed that you obviously don't want to fall too low in the standings, but January before the All-Star break, like trying new stuff after the deadline, you do have to do this. It is just like, do you have to do it this much? Because it's like, you don't have to do it, Joe. But I'm also, this is shrouded in, I think they probably should keep trying it to an extent. And I would not be surprised if a Keita Vooch lineup can be like in spurts viable. A Keita Vooch, Tatum, Jalen, Derek lineup is interesting. It's very large, very good at rebounding. Good at shooting. Could pick and roll. You can spread the court with Vooch a little bit. Like, there's definitely stuff there. But at the same time, I'm like, do I really just, at the end of the day, gonna want to go Keita, Tatum, or Vooch, Tatum as your 4-5? And if I'm going small, Tatum, Ugo, Jalen, Baylor, whoever. Like, but it's about having just a 7-minute in game 2 of the Eastern Conference Finals against the Pistons where it works, and that can help you flip a series.
Yeah, that's for sure. Go ahead,
Spinny.
No, I was just gonna say, like, yeah, I agree that like maybe there's an instance where we need to go double bigs and it works, and that's great. Starting it seems pretty fucking crazy to me. Starting it to 3 games in a row seems pretty crazy to me. I think it almost appeared to me like he doesn't want Garza to feel like, oh, you're completely out of the rotation now because we've replaced you, and that's why we're doing it.
That's a good theory.
We can't have that, right? You've got to be Joe. I thought was notoriously more cutthroat, but I suppose he does tell guys, "I love you" in the middle of games.
That's the thing.
He is a nurturing soul.
He is cutthroat if you fuck up, and it's like, how can you bench Gaza after he's basically died on the court like 42 games in a row? It's like that's and been really really impactful. So I do think that could be part of it too. It's like I can't just yank his minutes completely when he's been so good for us. So I think that's a great theory and probably a smart coaching. Like it's unfair for Vucevic to just come in completely unproven and probably not play as well as Gaza, at least initially anyway.
Yeah, I think Gaza's going to lose some minutes when Tatum returns. I think we can probably agree on that. All right, cool. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I hope that they can solve for this defensive issue. Obviously, the Tatum return helps plug that hole as well because obviously the offensive versatility, like they threw it down to Vucevic like on the block a couple of times, attempted a couple of post ups, the pick and pop, which we've seen a little bit with Gaza. But there's just more, I don't know, there's more options there with Vucevic out there. So I hope that he can survive defensively such that we can cycle through those options a bit more and get a bit more sample size there. Before we wrap this one up, there was some smatterings of news. I got this from CBS Sports 2 days ago. The NBA Board of Governors is, quote, likely to vote on expansion this summer, with Seattle and Las Vegas serving as the two cities that are, quote, favored to land franchises. Silver later mentioned during the press conference that, quote, sometime in 2026 will make a determination about potential expansion. Now, the last time there was an NBA expansion, teams were able to keep 8 players and the rest entered what I imagine to have been a very exciting NBA expansion draft. So I'm going to put you guys on the spot here. I don't know if the question is what 8 players would you keep or what of the remaining players would you jettison out into expansion draft world, but tough decisions potentially ahead for us right now and the Celtics in the near future.
Should we just do the draft?
I guess. Yeah.
And because I feel there's some obvious ones. Like,
yeah.
Do you want the first pick, Ben?
Yeah. So we're drafting what players to keep on the Celtics. Okay. I might go with Ugo. No, I'll go with Jayson Tatum.
I mean, all right, good pick.
Am I next? Okay, sorry.
We'll go
all right.
Like that way.
So you took Ron Harper Jr., Ben, yeah?
Of course.
I'll take Jaylen Brown.
Jalen's off the board. Okay.
I'll take Jaylen.
I'll take Derek White. That's like, what are we talking about?
We could get his money off the books really easy.
Great. Should have left Jaylen and Jayson off too then.
Yeah.
It's going to be
plenty of cap space if they're not on the team. I'll take the top 15 analytics darling. Yeah, Derek White.
Makes a lot of money though.
Wait, are we
you
snaking?
took Peyton?
No.
Okay, yeah, can't handle that. Peyton Pritchard, is the 4th pick.
Okay, I'm gonna go off the wall here. I'm gonna take Kata.
Yeah. I think as it stands today, you think you have to take Kata. Like you definitely can't leave the draft without Kata because then you're on Gaza and Vooch time. That's a no-brainer. Now it's like, okay, I love Sam Hauser, but it's Ugo Gonzalez time, right? Like, I think you can keep both. I think we're going to end up in that spot. But if we're doing it, I know Sam Hauser's better right now. Like if it was for this year's playoff run, I'm taking Hauser. But I think we have Spoonie's OG Anunoby comp feels like more accurate. Like I don't know. Do you know when Ugo had that closeout on Pell Larson and he like played both like guys and he got the steal and then had like the wraparound pass to Jaylen on the fast break? Is he not just like wing Derek White?
Yeah, basically. Yeah, absolutely. He's definitely got Derek White style instincts for the game, right? That kind of extend beyond, you might say, his like physical limitations. Like it's not like Derek White or Ugo are like soaring through the air, dominating with their athleticism. They dominate with their minds, which is incredible. So I'm in support of that pick. But it does leave Sam Hauser on the board for me with the 7th pick. So I'll be picking up Sammy Buckets, one of the greatest shooters of all time.
You're really going to make
squares as we go across.
All right. So now it's basically between Jordan Walsh and Baylor, right?
Also, we got Tatum, Jalen, Derek, Pritchard, Ugo, Alza.
Kata.
Kata. I keep doing this. I now say Alza instead of Ugo.
That's what Simmonsism.
So we have 7.
Monk. So I feel like, do you guys think there's anyone else like on the board? Baylor, Jordan Walsh, like Vooch, no.
No.
Garza.
Baylor, Walsh,
We
Ron
excited
Harper
about Amari
Jr.
Williams potential?
Yeah.
Ron Harper, I love Amari, but like,
I don't think he's getting picked up. I think he's staying on the team. Yeah, if we don't protect
probably
it.
risk that one.
I think,
man,
here's my thought here.
Baylor's been so good lately.
I know. That's why I'm like kind of leaning towards Baylor. But here's my thinking: expansion team is probably going to want guys who are ready to play, right? Or are they going to want young guys to build up? I guess it depends who's available. The team's going to be older because a lot of teams are going to like the Vooches of the world. Vooch will probably get picked in the expansion draft, right? So they're going to want like, we need to fit, like, let's be decent. Okay. Right. And I think they would target Baylor before they would target Walshy. There's a lot of like Jordan Walshes in the NBA, like 22-year-old wings who haven't really shown enough to be
a little bit.
started. Yeah. So I feel like Walshy has a higher chance of not getting picked. Whereas Baylor, it's like, we can plug this guy in. He's our 8th man, 9th man, whatever. So I'm going to, I can't do it. I'm protecting Jordan Walsh.
I feel like
Walsh.
Correct answer,
I can't do it.
There's only one Jordan Walsh, and he must be ours.
And he's so young.
It's this podcast cannot take Baylor Schreiman over Walshy.
We have a brand to uphold.
Exactly.
I guess if we're looking at this season, right, like in totality, I think Baylor may have had the better season at this point. I would say more consistent throughout. But the ceiling from what we've seen of Walsh is higher. That like, now granted, it was a 2-week stretch, and there was like a peak of like 3 or 4 games where he didn't miss a shot and locked up everyone that he was on the court with. But Baylor, dude, like he like almost kept us in the Knicks game by himself.
Yeah,
that was crazy. Like he had like 14 rebounds, hitting threes. No one else could make a shot. I know, like in the future, I'm a believer in his ability to run pick and roll. I can't believe he's become this good of a defender, and the rebounding is just really popping. Like,
dude,
so
he had
impressive.
some boards against the Knicks that I was
the
like,
Knicks.
holy shit, yeah.
It doesn't make any sense because he's not athletic, but he's doing it.
Here's the thing, though. When Baylor was Walsh's age, he was playing in the Summit Conference in college basketball. You know what I mean? He was on South Dakota State. So I think there's that aspect. And I just believe in Joe and the Celtics to like really mold Jordan Walsh into what they want. They've already done it with Baylor, right? Like his defense. We were killing Baylor in the preseason for how little he cared. How are we here now with him where it's like, this guy is just like a good defender? What is happening?
I don't get it. But yeah, I think that's probably the right answer. You just take the upside with Walsh. Take the ceiling. 3 years, 4 years younger than Baylor. You've seen enough of the flashes. I love the Jordan Walsh drives. Don't get me wrong. Like the dude can. He had I forget if it was the Heat or I think it was the Knicks game. Just the scoop up and under baseline drives that he can get to. I do like that. But yeah, I'm very much appreciating the steadiness of and impact, the steady impact of Baylor at the moment. It's continuing to blow my mind, but I think first to the floor, Jordan Walsh staying home.
Yeah, it is interesting how this segment became like quickly named like the clear top 7 players that like no one would struggle naming, and then make the decision between Jordan Walsh and Baylor Schreiman. I think good problems to have given the gutting of our roster that occurred in the offseason. I think maybe the one argument, you guys kind of already made it, but for Baylor is like where the Jays are at. Like, do you want the plucky high upside young guy in Jordan Walsh, or do you want the immediate contributor given like what our short-term goals are? But yeah, I mean,
that's a really good point.
That is a really
That's a really good point. Because who are you trusting in the playoffs if they start tomorrow? Baylor or Walsh?
I think it's got to be Baylor. I trust him.
Easy.
Yeah, it's Baylor, more willing shooter, and like you can't just take him out of the game with closeouts because if you close out hard, he will take a couple dribbles and make the right read. And Walshy does that at times, but he's just so much more hesitant to put it on the floor.
Man, I'm just trying to look up the 3-point percentage of everybody at the moment for the season. Baylor is at 39.4, and
it's been dropping. It's dropping though.
And again, but the volume is just too low for us to really get any feel for. He's only taken 104 threes. Walsh is at 37.8. Talk about dropping. Dude hasn't made a 3 in like 4 games. But I think for the playoffs, I'm confident Baylor Open is going to knock down some shots. I'm not. Mm-hmm. I know Walsh can. I'm a believer in like the long-term ability to kind of just like hit open threes. Baylor, like he'll hit some momentum threes though. Like transition, the no dip stuff has obviously been something he's added from a shooting perspective this year. I think you may have swayed me, Ben.
I like this comment though from Blamob, down by 5, Baylor, down by 15, Walsh, just like the game's like slipping, it's getting behind you, like just insert chaos agent, Jordan Walsh, like full court pickup, try and create some, what was the term we used to use for that? Like create some scenarios chaos? Or what? Yeah.
Event creation?
Event creation, yes. Jordan Walsh.
Well, hold on. Here's another way to look at it, though. Is there too much overlap between Walshy and Ugo? And it's like Ugo can kind of already do what Jordan Walsh does, so you'd rather have Baylor, who's unique amongst these wings, right? He's different than Hauser. He's different than Ugo. He's different than Walshy, whereas like Ugo and Walshy kind of project to have similar skill sets.
I think that's why Walsh's minutes are dropping at the moment, is because Ugo's getting his minutes and Baylor's kind of carved out his own type of player role. I think I'm Team Baylor because if the expansion draft happens right now, after this season, for example, like the time is now. The time is not in 3 years. We probably have another Jordan Walsh that will draft with the 35th overall pick with the Bucks second rounder, right? And by the time we get to where Walsh was ready, this guy's probably not that far behind him. Obviously, Walsh has proven more than someone who has proven nothing in the 35th overall spot. But I'm addicted to the steady impact, the rebounding, the spiciness.
Can we say inconclusive so I don't have to go away and punish myself once we're done here? Because that's what I'm currently lined up to do.
I think that we can end the meeting with like everyone needs to go back and continue to think about this. We don't have to make a decision today. But that's our last spot. And if I had to choose today, I'm probably choosing Baylor, but we don't. So Walsh, you got time.
We got playoffs. We'll see what happens in the playoffs. That'll be the decider.
If you're listening and you want 30 more minutes of indecision around Baylor and Jordan Walsh, I recommend subscribing to the Patreon. Great content, a lot of deep dives. We'll have something up there later in the week. At some point, I haven't busted this out yet, but I've got this Boston Celtics trivia booklet that I was gifted for Christmas, full of unimaginable levels of Celtics trivia, which we might bust out on the Patreon as well. I think we'll leave it there, though, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll be back later in the week. Jake, you look like you got something.
Well, I was going to say, Walk Francis. Jake used to hate Baylor, correct? ? Yeah, I didn't ever hate him. I was just always like, I don't understand why people are so confident in that we can get rid of Hauser for him. And I still feel kind of that way. Like you desperately need Hauser's elite shooting, but gap has closed in a way that I did not think was possible.
It was disappointment towards Baylor, I thought, because we saw the QB1 Swiss Army knife potential and then just never eventuated, and now suddenly out of nowhere on the same development spike as the rest of the young players on the team. It's amazing how contagious that's been.
Yeah, man. And I think like the big part of it too is Hauser's just a lot bigger, so he can play the 4, and Baylor cannot. So like you need somebody to replace Hauser defensively, and I don't think Baylor can be that guy. He's more of like a 2-3 than a 3-4. But that's what we got Ugo for. So OG Anunoby.
I love
Spanish OG.
I love it. Wing Alex Caruso.
Make sure that you are subscribed everywhere, to the YouTube channel, to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Patreon, so you don't miss anything. Do you really want to not be subscribed for the Jayson Tatum return? Spoonie, Jake, love your work, guys. Until next time, go Celts.